It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Ernie Johnson here. Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal by my side. Not too long from now, the regular season will be coming to a close. But there are still some very heated battles going on for playoff position. Moments away, it'll be the Minnesota Timberwolves going up against the Houston Rockets. The Rockets have to feel pretty good about their recent play. It's been a fantastic season for them, and this could be one of its most memorable nights, as a win here gives them the best record in the league. It's been said that Karl Anthony Towns is the prototypical modern big man in the league. There's no doubt that he's a star with all the potential in the world, but would you guys agree he represents the future of that position?
You know, I like him, one, because he's from Jersey, and he can play inside and outside. He's lengthy and strong, but he's very mobile, agile, and fruitile.
His skill set is coveted by every player.
Fruitile?
Oh, no question.
I got that.
What's fruitile?
I got it from Dick Vitale. I don't know.
Fruitile?
I heard Dick Vitale say it.
What does fruitile mean?
Fruitile is like, it's fruitful, but it's got a lot of tile to it.
But it's futile as well. It's a futile fruit.
Got a lot of tile to
He's got a lot of tile to it.
Fruitile.
That means he can lay it down. He's got a lot of tile to his fruit.
That's right. Ernie can lay his game down.
He can lay it down.
And his game is sweet like
Sorry,
fruit.
I'm so out of step.
You're not a
almost
millennial.
time for the tip-off. See you next time.
K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
Home court belongs to the Timberwolves in this one, as we bring you a Western Conference matchup here live from the Target Center in Minneapolis. Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. David Aldridge joins us from the sideline. Today's game marks the continuation of Houston's road schedule. This is a hot team. They currently hold the best record in the entire NBA.
And during this streak, guys, one thing you can see on this team is that everybody's role is clearly defined. Every player knows exactly what's expected of them. All the pieces seem to be fitting together perfectly.
Yep, and there isn't a more confident team in the NBA right now. Believe me, none of the guys on that team think this winning streak has happened by accident.
And nothing tips off a broadcast like getting the lowdown from the sidelines. And we've got David Aldridge there for that. David, good evening.
Well, guys, James Harden is a great offensive player, but there's no mistaking it. He does dominate the ball. Now, that can bother teammates sometimes, but Coach Mike D'Antoni says when they feel that paycheck every 2 weeks, that should make them play hard. You have to be a star in your role. So when James gets the ball to you, shoot it, and then run back and play hard as heck. Kevin?
Thanks. He's a great passer, David. There's no doubt he can set the table. Great matchup tonight with two very offensive, strong teams going head-to-head. What are some of the best offenses you've ever seen, Clark, in NBA history?
Well, going back to my time, Kevin, in the early 80s, there was no better offensive team than the Lakers, and the Boston Celtics were not far behind. Both teams had versatile players, Hall of Fame players, shared the ball, smart players in terms of their IQ, and both were excellent fast-breaking teams. And in this day and age, I think the Warriors are as good as it gets offensively.
So the Timberwolves win the tip. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. So on the floor for Houston, the two pillars of this team, Chris Paul and Harden, are the 1 and the 2. PJ Tucker is out there with Clint Capella, and it's Ariza in at the 3 slot. Here's Capella, 2 points, that one goes. Capella's got the opening basket of the game for Houston.
Capella, for a big guy, really runs the floor fluidly. Always nice to have a big man who's good at the rim run.
Now here's Towns. Shoots over Capella, and Towns gets it to go.
Just reliable, guys. He's just always trying to make the right play.
It's Harden with the drive over Wiggins and off the left side of the rim, and it swirls in for him.
The creativity of an artist, that's what Harden has. An excellent decision maker, too. Comfortable at pulling from right here.
From deep, Hits it from three-point range. Bielitsa's got his first 3 points of the game.
Nice pass that time. What excellent vision by Jeff Teague out there.
And the rejection by Towns. Capella with the bucket. On defense, the Rockets, they defeated the Pelicans in their last game.
Yeah, struggled to shoot the basketball in that game, but still found a way, if you will. I mean, they had to pick up the slack in a lot of other areas, and they did.
And, Greg, you know, not too many teams are going to win shooting that poorly from the floor. Well, I'd have to say it says a lot about them as a ball club to win with that poor shooting performance. And this guy, to me, embodies determination. Small at his position, but he still gets up and keeps plays alive. That's mind over matter for sure.
Al Paul after the missed three from Karl Anthony Towns. Count that one.
Tell you what, man, this guy has no business at his size being as good as he is in the paint, even against the strongest defense. Chris Paul finding the angle he needs.
Now here's Gibson. Pass to Bielitsa. And Capella over to help. Unloads from 13. And it comes off the front of the rim.
You just make the assumption that's going down. I mean, an uncontested mid-range jumper, I think he should have buried it. But you know what? He didn't. It happens.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Boy, it's a thing of beauty watching him attack the defense like that. I mean, they wanted no part of him on that layup.
And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. And a quick look at how things have been since the All-Star break, checking out the three-point shot ratio for Houston.
And clearly they haven't been shy about launching it from long range. That's the way the league has been going, and they are certainly embracing that trend.
Just over 2.5 minutes played here so far in the first quarter. Knocks down the three ball.
Boy, the progression of Wiggins' game out beyond the arc. He now is not only shooting that shot, Kevin, he's expecting to make it.
Second chance shot, and it's Capella missing.
And that layup is usually going in, especially when the defense is as lazy as that.
Teague can't hit. For Houston, they've gone 6 of 9, shooting it well. Here's Harden. Whistle on the play, bucket's good, he'll go to the line.
Boy, I like the understated focus that Harden brings to the table. Despite getting knocked around, his concentration allows him to play through the bumps. Well, you look at a player of Harden's ability, and a couple of things stand out for me. One is his competitive spirit. He's understated, but he's very competitive. He doesn't take nights off. He's a guy who really takes pride in showing up and playing every game.
Shot.
Free throw good, James Harden. And to illustrate Harden's competitive nature, last season he famously said, "I just want to hoop. I'll rest when I'm done." Look, like that's exactly what you want to hear from your team leader.
Yeah, you love hearing that. Owning the responsibility of leading and showing up all the time. And Harden, heavily depended upon by his team, gives you everything he has every night. Not super flashy, but very competitive and driven.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
Here's Bielitsa. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. Wiggins kicks to Teague. Just 4 to shoot. Towns the screen. Shot from the wing. Offensive rebound. No good from Gibson. Rockets leading by 5. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Love the ferocity. Heck, that's one of my favorite words, ferocity. Harden, excellent at accelerating and decelerating. That's the thing that makes him so tough. He can go fast, slow, or mid-range speed.
Shooting 2.
The first free throw is good. You know, Clark, at the end of last season, the Timberwolves unveiled this new logo they're sporting this season. They thought it was time for an update, and you have to say it looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, most teams in the NBA want to mix their logo up every so often to keep it modern and up to date and fresh. The Wolves have a young group and felt it was the right time to re-examine the logo, and I can't argue with them. Sometimes a little change like that can pay big dividends. Textbook shooting from the stripe. Great form, soft release. Mark it up.
Wiggins, a screen on Paul. Floats it up for Wiggins, and it's Wiggins with the jam.
And down hard. Flying high for the catch and flush, Kevin. Wiggins gets off the ground in a hurry.
It was beautiful the first time, but Under Armour showing us the replay of that tremendous alley-oop again. Another unleash chaos moment. Now the pass to Teague. That doesn't go in either for Teague. Rockets leading by 5. Harden left side. Another miss by Houston.
The inside just a bit too congested for him to get the usual shot he would have with rhythm.
Wiggins against Harden. Wiggins passes to Teague. Towns kicks to Bielitsa. The feed to Wiggins. Shoots the 3. Again, Wiggins missing. For Houston, they've gotten 8 of their 13 shots to find the bottom of the bucket. And Harden with the stuff.
Tremendous speed on the drive. Harden is consistent in attacking the basket.
Here's Teague. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Ariza brings the double. Left side, Gibson. Outside, Teague. Fires for 3. Buries the long-range jumper.
Oh, a good open look, and he sprays it home from 3.
Here's Capella. That shot off the mark. Great D that time from Teague. Wiggins with it, and it's Harden picking him up. Wiggins kicks to Teague. Pass to Towns. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Towns has got 6.
And off to a strong start offensively. He's got a nice touch.
Tell you what, Kevin, there aren't many players who would have even seen that pass, but when we're talking about Chris Paul, he's got unique vision, unlike most anybody else.
T kicks to Bielitsa. Off target with his 3.
All the time in the world to get that one off.
Here's Capella. Great D that time from T.
And that's solid defense, rock solid, contesting without fouling. Well done.
Second chance shot. Off the left rim and out.
No doubt he's struggling right now from the field. Let's see if he can get it going this quarter.
You know about Harden shooting and his ability to get to the line and all that, but you know, Clark, what some people don't realize is just how fast he's going end to end. I mean, he can just blow by players in the open floor.
Yeah, he's got deceptive speed, Kevin, and part of that is how he's worked to change his body from his college days at Arizona State to who he is in the NBA. He slimmed down a bit, but he still has that strength and that barrel-chestedness that allows him to play so well through contact. But you're right, his speed is lethal and deceptive.
Free throw drops for Harden.
And James Harden is clearly an MVP caliber talent. No doubt about that. A triple-double threat who really is a stat sheet stuffer supreme.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Jang, he's checked in for Gibson. Crawford comes in for Bielitsa. And Jones subbed in for T. And then for Houston, Nene, he's checked in for Capella. Anderson comes in for P.J. Tucker. And Gordon subbed in for Trevor Ariza.
And when you watch this Rockets team, you can see just how explosive they are on the offensive end. Almost everyone on the floor can hurt you from deep, and they all know their role and execute it to a T.
Now, here is Harden, and he banks in the layup. Harden's got 15 points.
Well, I tell you what, I like the clip he's shooting at. Extremely effective. If you're on defense now, you got to get the ball out of his hands.
Out of bounds. Houston takes possession. And last season, the Rockets' offense was incredible. Then they go and add Chris Paul.
They can run a team off the floor if they get hot. Two great playmakers in Paul and Harden. And making a move for Paul made a lot of teams fear what the Rockets can do now on offense.
And Mbah-a-Moute's checked in for the Rockets.
I tell you what, the defense should send Christmas cards for that miss.
Crawford outside. And Zhang kicks to Wiggins. Towns dishes to Zhang. Comes out of the gate empty. He's 0 for 1.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Exactly. Can't play it any better than that, Greg.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Yeah, shots falling, off to a very good start offensively as a result.
Timeout called, first of the game for Minnesota. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with San Antonio.
And their defense practically non-existent in that one. Just gave up far too many easy shots.
Yeah, I think they were totally checked out, Greg. At least that's what it looked like. When you play that kind of defense, you expect to lose.
In the post, Clark, you were as polished as they come. I watched it with my own eyes and loved the way you play. Just how important, when you go back to that time, is footwork for a big man in the NBA?
Well, I think it's everything, regardless of what size you are, big or small. Fundamentally sound footwork is essential to being a solid offensive basketball player. And as a guy who played inside and out, it was something I took pride in. And I wasn't the greatest athlete, a decent athlete, so my footwork allowed me to gain an advantage against bigger guys.
This is a list of the guys that have been dialed in at the free throw line lately since the All-Star break. No one has been better. Second, Chris Paul.
And one look at his numbers since the break, and you can see how comfortable he's been at the foul line.
Minnesota with the ball. It's a 10-point game. Zhang, a screen. Towns with it. Picked up by Nene. Poked loose. Stolen by Gordon. Nene into the lane. Minnesota with the rebound. Towns has got his third rebound tonight.
And right from the start, Kevin, they've been pounding the glass. Most of those 50-50 balls also going their way.
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. They came focused and ready to play. I mean, they're doing everything they can to put things in their favor. You earn that, and they're actually earning it well right now.
That's tipped, taken away by Nene. And it's the Rockets on the break. Low block shot on the way. Nice touch on the bank shot. Nene's got his first bucket in this one. And guys, what do you think about the hustle stats for the Rockets?
Well, I think the defensive aggressiveness on display here has caught them off guard, playing airtight defense and coming up with the steals.
And also, how about the fact defensively they're getting that backboard and getting out in transition, especially in this first half.
Yes, he did. Having a big who can locate the open man the way Towns does puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
In the corner, it's Wiggins. Trains it from beyond the arc. Wiggins has got it back down to within single digits for the Timberwolves. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Wiggins.
Now let's see the stat sheet here on Chris Paul. He's been dominant over the last month. He's right around 17 points a night, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. And he brings that offensive firepower to the team. Scoring just comes naturally.
And, you know, defenses are throwing everything at him, yet he's still able to put up points. He's really unstoppable.
And here's Crawford, following the three-pointer by Andrew Wiggins. Towns, no luck.
Boy, I'm surprised he couldn't put that away. I mean, the defense clearly botched an assignment, leaving him open.
Timberwolves trail by 7. Jones for 3. The rebound by Anderson. Gordon goes in. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. Towns has got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. In the corner, it's Crawford. Trains the three-pointer.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
And slam dunk by Nene.
Chris Paul is a flat-out playmaker, guys. Straight up. Knows exactly where to go with the ball most every time.
Count the bucket coming off a perfectly placed assist. Chang's got his second basket of the night.
And a nice job here early of establishing an inside presence. And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
And those are the kind of sequences that tell you why the score is what it is.
Now here's Jones. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Goes back up, and Towns lays it in.
Boy, the relentless nature of Towns snatches the offensive board, then converts it into points efficiently and effectively done.
And the dunk by Ba'amute.
Oh, inflicting some punishment with the two-hand flush.
They're going for the throat.
Now's the time to do it. Keep attacking that rim.
So it's the Timberwolves now. The Rockets making the shot. That's tipped, but they get it back. Outside, Jones, and Paul over to help. Wiggins against Mba'amute. Yes, that goes in. And now it's an 8-point Houston lead.
You know, for a small guy, you got to respect how calm Paul is inside. I mean, he knows he can get his shot over anybody, but he's got to be crafty and clever to do so. Good display of patience there.
Now, here's Wiggins. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against San Antonio. And the shot goes down. And the Rockets lead by 10.
And the defense looks soft early on. They've got to sum it up a little more sense of urgency.
Yeah, they've got to do a little more to disrupt their offensive rhythm, too.
Gordon goes in, lays it up, and banks it in. Gordon's got his second basket of the game.
Aggressive coming out of the gate here, guys. Wow.
Tone setting, that's what I call it. Grabbing this one by the throat early on and then squeezing it hard.
Domination in the first quarter. It's been pretty lopsided. Rockets ahead as they end the first quarter on a 12-4 run. And back in a moment as we'll get underway with quarter number 2. And you talk to Chris Paul, and it's clear he was born to play the point guard position.
Fortunately, I've always been vertically challenged, so I've never had to play power forward or center on anybody's team. I've been passing and getting into the lane, dishing the ball off to a teammate, helping people score my entire career.
Vertically challenged, that's classic coming from Chris Paul. But, you know, seriously, Greg, he's taken that challenge and made the most of what he's got. A terrific play.
Really, and you know what? He's actually turned that challenge on his head when he goes right at much bigger players and uses their size against them.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And, guys, we've seen the Rockets really take control here.
I mean, a solid first quarter, especially looking at that plus turnover ratio.
Yeah, everything is sharp. I mean, nothing forced, precise passes, taking care of the ball. That's good stuff.
This is how the floor looks for the Rockets starting the second. Gordon out there with Johnson. Then it's Chris Paul. Then there's Ryan Anderson. And it's Green in at the 2 guard.
You know, you watch Karl Anthony Towns, and he just epitomizes the future of the NBA big man. Extremely versatile, gets it done inside and outside at both ends of the floor, and has a fluidity to his game that belies his size.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, analytics has taken over the NBA, but Minnesota coach and president of basketball operations Tom Thibodeau says it doesn't tell you everything. He said analytics can measure a lot of things, but it's very difficult to measure drive. The magic is in the work. Kevin?
And Tom Thibodeau makes a good point, D.A. Analytics is certainly helpful, but it doesn't capture everything.
Oh, wow.
That's a beautiful jam.
Yes, indeed.
And that pattern continues, guys. Another heat check, another log on the fire.
Well, they're scorching right now. I mean, the defense has to be concerned. Nothing they're doing is stopping this run.
And it's Houston's ball. They've outscored him 10 points to 2 during this run. Here's Johnson, and good work on the boards, and they pick up the second chance points. Johnson's got his first 2 points of the night. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Oh, and here comes Johnson all alone. And then Johnson with the jam.
Well, there you go. One team operating on all cylinders at both ends, steals, fast break buckets, and the other team in scramble mode.
Jones kicks to Crawford. Inside. And Jang gets it to go. Jang's got 6.
Though Jang has developed a pretty good outside shot, this is where you want him operating, in the painted area. After going scoreless in the first, he's really found a way to turn it on here in the second quarter.
Minnesota calls timeout. They just couldn't come out on top last time they took on the Rockets. That one was played down in Houston.
Yeah, and last time out, they sort of shot themselves in the foot with the foul trouble. That was what led to them having such an ugly scoreline.
And Greg, the foul trouble was a big chunk of it. I mean, it's hard to mount a comeback when all your key guys, your main players, are watching from the bench.
One of the toughest parts about playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves is the travel schedule.
Yeah.
Clark, even interdivision games can involve lengthy flights, and the team travels more than any other in the NBA.
Yeah, and you know, everybody travels, and it is part of the league, but it is a small disadvantage for Minnesota to deal with. Not a big one, but nonetheless something unique to them as a team. Not much you can do about it, though. That's their lot, and they've got to make it work.
And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Taj Gibson's checked in for Towns. Bielitsa comes in for Wiggins, and it's Teagan for Tyus Jones. Houston also making some changes. Clint Capella, he's checked in for Anderson. Riza comes in for Eric Gordon. And James Harden subbed in for Chris Paul. Johnson can't hit. Timberwolves have gone 2 of 6 from the field in the second quarter so far. Crawford with the ball. Now Green defending. Jang a screen. Ariza brings the double. Kicks it to Crawford. Jang with the screen for Crawford. Clock at 6. And there's the foul. It goes on Taj Gibson. That'll be his second foul of the game. And here are the Rockets. They're on a 16-4 run right now. Here's Ariza, and Ariza with the stuff.
Got to admire the penetrating ability of Ariza. He's quick at cutting inside and often finishes with style.
Over to the left wing. Bielitsa. The Timberwolves again can't hit. The Rockets shooting 65%, an outstanding offensive display from them. And that one drops for him.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
No good. Shot missing. Good D by Harden. Gibson's gone 1 of 3 on the night. Harden against T. Capella. Rebound by Jang. Minnesota's got nothing but zeros from long range in the second quarter. 0 of 4. And Capella over to help. Crawford kicks to Bielitsa. Passes it to Teague. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Ariza against Crawford. Great D that time from Green.
He is just really almost playing for the other team. The shooting has just been poor.
It's good. 10 points for Joe Johnson. Here's Teague. He's coming off a 16-point game against the Spurs in San Antonio. And Gibson kicks to Crawford. And they call an illegal screen here. And taking a broader look here at the year-over-year scoring trend for Crawford.
And looking at his offensive numbers from the past few years, it seems like teams around the league have kind of figured him out. He's having to work a lot harder for his points, and they haven't been coming nearly as easily as they used to.
Here's Houston now. Their defense has only allowed 4 points in the quarter. Harden, that's good.
And 10 of their last 12 coming off assists.
Minnesota shooting at 36%. They really seem out of sync offensively. It's Bjelica, and that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Bjelica's got his second bucket of the night.
Yeah, you know, not every point guard would be able to find an open man right there, but Teague is always looking for the right play.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
I tell you, we're taking a look at some real deficiencies defensively. I mean, they've given up 5 straight good looks in the paint.
Gibson passes to Bjelica. Offline with his 3.
I'd love to see them impose themselves a little more on the backboard. That's a great way to find confidence. Always a surefire way to get back in the game.
Well, guys, they need to do something to reduce this deficit. We'll see if that's the answer.
In the corner, it's Crawford. The putback.
And it doesn't even matter that he's surrounded on that possession. He's got the size to pull those boards down anyway.
And the basket by Harden.
The tenacity, the attention to detail, it's why these guys are in complete control.
And you know what, Greg? They are crushing it on both ends. I mean, in total control right now.
And so it looks like the Timberwolves will retain possession here. P.J. Tucker, he's checked in for the Rockets. Now here's Teague, and he can be counted on to put some points on the board every night. He's averaging right around 13.5 points a game. Count it. Teague's got 5.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
A nice shot by Tucker.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Dime-dropping delights is what I call it.
That is a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yeah, he's on the money, that's no doubt. Gibson the screen. Teague with the ball, and it's Harden picking him up. Stolen by Tucker. And here we go. Harden heading to the hoop. And the jam by Harden.
Really good to see Harden get nasty on defense. He's got quick instincts and quick hands, and I like how he pilfers it on occasion. You know, one of the great strengths of Coach D'Antoni, to me, Kevin, is he really gives his players a lot of confidence. And his philosophy really clicks with players. They're comfortable playing for him. They know their responsibilities, and they play hard for D'Antoni.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it, too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
From deep, it's rebounded by Houston. And to what you said about Mike D'Antoni, he sees his players and asks, what can they do, instead of what can't you do?
And, you know, he's had a lot of success last season, elevating the Rockets and winning Coach of the Year in the process.
And Teague has it in the corner. And he can't stop the run as he misses.
Yeah, he's costing them right now, sabotaging them a little bit. He's got to find his shot if they want to win this game.
And I love the momentum he's building. Last game, he was just as dominant.
Yeah, I concur. I mean, definitely on the roll right now. Seems like everything he's throwing up is going down.
To the right side. Jacks up a 3. It's good from long range. Teague's got 8 points.
The super fast release of Jeff Teague, and incredibly lethal catch-and-shoot player.
And Zhang kicks to Teague. Zhang, a screen, knocks it loose, and stolen by Ariza. Tucker dishes to Ariza. Back to Tucker. The rebound by Gibson. Gibson's got 4 rebounds in this game. Crawford, no one around him. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Teague's got assist number 7 for him tonight.
Just a great job there from Teague to locate where his teammate was and get the ball to him on time.
Count it, good.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
They set the screen. And Bjelica kicks to Teague. Misses the 3. And for Houston, they're shooting nearly 70% from the floor. They are putting on a clinic offensively. Harden's shot is good.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 coming from inside the paint.
Got a piece of it. Stolen by Harden. Lays it up off the glass. Harden's got 37.
Defense has no answer for him. I mean, none. They look completely lost. He's been on fire.
The dish now to Gibson. Back to Crawford. Gibson with the screen on Harden. Lock at 6. Crawford, no luck.
I think he's got to regroup and get himself together here. I mean, something's gone wrong with him this quarter. He's really fallen off.
Out of bounds, Minnesota takes possession. And let's go to our leaderboard. Instant offense is the specialty of these guys. The highest scoring shooting guards of the past month. James Harden, number 1.
And it's his explosiveness that jumps right out at you. I mean, he exploits gaps in the defense better than any player in the league. If there's an opening, he'll find it.
Yeah, and you need that kind of burst from the off-guard position, and boy, does he ever give it to him. I mean, he's a constant threat and a potent weapon. He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
Capella with the bucket.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
And it's been a well-rounded performance. I mean, strong rebounding has certainly been at the center of it, but it's been good on a number of levels.
Crawford passes to Gibson. Will it go? Second shot opportunity, and the layup is good.
His hard work on the backboard really just has given them more opportunities to score.
Here's Harden. The 15-footer, good. Harden's got 39.
Yeah, he's building off that strong first quarter, Kevin. Rising up and hitting shots with confidence.
Crawford against Harden. It's Bielitsa. That 3 off the mark.
And out of rhythm offensively, but he continues to work at it.
Yeah, you know what? I think eventually he will find his rhythm because he is off right now, but all it takes is one hoop, and you're back in rhythm.
Not the biggest fan of that shot, but he had the space to get it off, so why not? And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
For Houston, they have been good at the line so far, 5 of 5.
And really, the form at the line all season has been terrific, 79% as a team.
Yeah, guys, they can feel very good about themselves when you bring up those statistics. Impressive numbers.
And you watch the way the Rockets play, Clark, a little bit of 7 seconds or less, certainly from their coach, Mike D'Antoni. Green lights to shoot from anywhere. Just attractive basketball. A lot of fun to watch. Clark, just how much fun is it to play in a team like that?
Well, I would think it would be the ideal way to play. Everybody's sharing the ball. There's plenty of possessions and opportunities. It's up and down trend. I mean, I think it's the way the game is intended to be played. There's a reason why Houston has done a great job of signing players the last few seasons, and part of it is their style and the chemistry the team seems to have in playing the way they do.
Here's Nene. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Paul's got his 7th assist in the game.
Look at the intensity of Nene, one of the strongest guys in the game, phenomenal at scoring the ball inside.
Here's Towns, drilled it right as the clock hit all zeros.
Wow, what a clutch shot. He's got nerves of steel.
Woo! Gotta have big-time nerves to hit a shot like that at the buzzer.
James Harden getting it done for the Houston Rockets. Going on an absolute rampage, piling in the points. He dictated the pace of the entire quarter. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Andrew, they shot the lights out in the first half. What has to change?
Get back. Focus on getting back, guarding your man, and not taking these real.
It starts with a man-on-man challenge. Thank you. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter started.
the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody, along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Ernie Johnson. Time for the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. James Harden was the man in the first. He went on an historic scoring frenzy, tallying a ridiculous number of points, 2 steals, and 4 rebounds. Kenny, what'd you think about the Rockets?
I'll tell you what, James Harden has reached a new level offensively. It's the threat of the score, the threat of the pass, and the ability to completely control the pace of the game. He's also developed as a leader, the kind that younger guys can learn from and look up to.
How about you, Shaq? What'd you think about Minnesota?
They relied way too heavily on the three-point shot in the first half. Their long-range game was off. That's my off sound, Ernie. They were off, but they still settle for the outside shots. They got to put more pressure on the defense by pounding it inside and attacking the basket.
And it's just about time now for the third quarter to get underway.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. An exceptional performance so far from James Harden.
And through the first 2 quarters, he was extremely aggressive, picked up a number of steals.
Yeah, a real game changer in that regard, too. I mean, his activity was great. Excelled at finding ways to come up with those steals.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but you know, anything can happen. Rockets shooting 69%, showing you what a well-oiled offense looks like tonight. Gibson is the 4 with Towns in the middle. Andrew Wiggins is out there with Teague, and it's Bjelica in at the small forward position. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. Minnesota's shooting has been a little ragged, just 38% from the field. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Karl Anthony Towns was voted by GMs last season as the player they most want to build a franchise around. But he is not resting on his laurels. He said, "I work hard on my game. I want to be the strongest player, the most intelligent player, and the most skilled player on the court at all times." Kevin?
Thanks, David. That work ethic will definitely help Towns get better. He's already a dynamite player.
Yeah, a strong defender is Capella. He uses his reach to bother shots and shooters, and I like the commitment he shows at that end of the floor.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
Back to Bjelica. Gibson the screen. Timberwolves passing it around. Towns, no luck.
And, you know, they don't have it right now. I mean, missing their first 3 shots so far this half, slow start.
Offensive rebound. A nice shot by Tucker. Tucker's got 6.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
I'd agree with you, and I don't think they expected this one to be a game where they would get battered inside like they had.
It's Ariza on the wing. He averages more than 12 points a game. That's some dependable production.
And that's superb defense in low. I mean, they played it well. It's not easy trying to alter these shots without fouling the shooter, and that's a good job of doing both.
Paul dishes to Ariza. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Ariza's got his second basket of the game.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting it in the paint and continue to score consistently.
Towns with it, and guarded by Capella. Got a piece of it. You always say it, Clark, so much of the game is played inside your mind, between the ears, in your head. Which players jump out to you as being some of the smartest players on the floor?
Kevin, there are so many guys that fall into that category. LeBron James is at the top of the list for me because of how he impacts the game in so many ways at both ends of the floor, and his size and athleticism make him unique. Chris Paul, another guy who has great awareness on the court.
The Rockets shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here. And the first one drops. And he makes both free throws. And the Rockets play at one of the highest paces in the NBA. A lot of possessions for both sides as they want as many chances as they can possibly get to score. Clark, when you think about that, how do you prepare for a team like the Rockets if you're their opponent?
Well, there are a couple of things you can do. One is you try to slow them down, and some teams are equipped to do that. Other teams are equally adept at the three, so you match them shot for shot. But the problem with that is Harden is really good in the half court. And even when you take away transition, he can hurt you in the half-court game.
Teague with a clean look. And it's off from three-point range. Here's Ariza. The putback, the rebound by Gibson. Gibson's got his 8th rebound here tonight. Teague with the ball. Chris Paul covering. And here we go. Paul heading to the hoop. And finished off by Paul.
On the break is where Chris Paul's at his best. I mean, he loves taking advantage of space in the open court and beating everybody down the floor.
And that replay brought to us by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. One of the more exciting plays in basketball. Harden against Wiggins and taken away by Paul. Fast break, here they come. Here's Capella and the dunk by Capella.
Sheer power there from Capella. Not an easy guy to contain when he's going up with the shot.
Minnesota's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. T kicks to Bielitsa. Out of bounds, Timberwolves ball as Minnesota keeps possession. And now a chance to take a look at the shot chart for Houston.
And this is a grown man shot chart right here. Not too much going on outside, but look at how things are for them in the paint. They are attacking the rim and not settling for the jump shot. And right now it's paying off in bunches. If I'm them, then I'd continue to do the same thing going forward until an adjustment is made.
Teague with the ball. Chris Paul covering. Teague kicks to Wiggins. There's the three. It's rebounded by Houston. Capella's got his 16th rebound on the night. Harden's shot is good. Harden's got 48.
And, you know, Harden's exceptional, Kevin, at getting out on the break in transition. I mean, running exactly the right path and getting it done.
And a wide open look here for Wiggins. The kick out to T. And Capella over to help. Wiggins passes to Teague to the inside. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Boy, nice timing on these jumps. He's somewhat on the small side for a power forward, but he just never gives up.
Yeah, that's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. And Clark, one thing you have to love about Towns is just how self-aware and humble he is. He's always looking to hone his game, and even when he puts up a big night, he can look at the tape and find something that he's got to improve on.
Yeah, that's admirable. His humility and his selflessness, being aware of what's going on, where he needs to get better, and that's part of why I think he's a leader on this team.
Gentlemen,
he'll own his mistakes, and he also is owning his personal development and improvement. So the future's bright for this guy.
First free throw is good.
And you know what's impressive about Towns to me, guys, at this young age? The preparation he puts into each and every game. He's a true pro in that regard.
Joe Johnson, he's checked in for P.J. Tucker. And Towns drops them both.
You know, the last few seasons, the Timberwolves assembled a terrific young core. Now they're ready, I think, to take that next step forward, adding veterans like Butler, Teague, and Gibson. I think they're ready to win right now.
To the paint, here's Gibson, and it's Gibson finishing it off. And he's now got the double-double, 10 points and 10 rebounds.
Always enjoy solid, good passing, easily setting up his teammate. Does not get any easier than that.
For the Wolves in their breakout season that everyone was waiting for, the pressure is felt by the team. It's just hard to pick out when a group of young players, Clark, is going to put it all together.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but that Western Conference about as stacked as it's ever been, Kevin. But you know what? I think the Wolves are primed and ready to be contenders.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. The defense, nowhere to be found.
I think they've really got to start committing more bodies down low and really kind of close that area off defensively.
Feeds to Wiggins. And it's Wiggins with the jam.
Rising above the rim, Wiggins encounters very few defenders who can meet him up at that apex.
Capella with the bucket.
And he is really in a zone right now, playing and scoring with confidence.
Timberwolves shooting a pretty brutal 29% since the break. To the wing right side, Elitsa, and that comes off the assist by Jeff T. Elitsa's got 9.
Where was the defense? Come on now, where was it? No idea how they gave up that open a look.
Chalk up 2 there.
Poise is so important for any player, but Ariza demonstrating poise when he's in the paint, looking to score.
Teague kicks to Towns. Towns is doubled. Back to Teague. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
Yeah, these defenders had better start closing down on shooter.
Here's Capella, and the dunk by Capella.
And you might as well ride him, Kevin. When he's hot like that, feeling it, Capella needs to be ridden and ridden hard.
The Timberwolves shooting 38% from the field, a pretty weak showing for them. Teague kicks to Wiggins. Gibson against Johnson. It's stolen by Capella. The baseline J. And again, the Rockets good for 2. And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Rockets.
The activity level defensively, I've really been impressed with. They've been in attack mode on the defensive end.
Another factor here tonight has been the amount of points they've scored off turnovers.
And that one, good. 14 points for Johnson.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash mouth physical basketball, guys.
Teague dishes to Towns, shoots over Capella. Towns, no luck.
And as he squares up for mid-range, the defender right in his face.
Yeah, I like the fact, Greg, that he crowded the shooter there, made him uncomfortable, got into his airspace a bit. He looked like he forced the shot.
Going up, Clark, you were Mr. Basketball USA, a national ranking. Be truthful. How dominant were you in high school in Cleveland, Ohio?
I was a really good high school player, considered one of the top 2 or 3 in the country in 1979, which was actually perhaps the best high school class ever, documented by many who follow the game: Isaiah Thomas and Sam Bowie, James Worthy, Ralph Sampson, Dale Ellis, Terry Cummings, Dominique Wilkins. I could go on and on. A terrific class, and I was considered at the top of that class as a high schooler.
That's good from Johnson. And you ask any Houston fan who the greatest player in the history of their franchise is, and they all say Hakeem Olajuwon. Clark, you played against Olajuwon. Just how great a player was he, and what does he mean to this Rockets franchise today?
Boy, he was special. A first ballot Hall of Famer, brought the only titles in franchise history to the Rockets, and could do everything you want from a big guy. Graceful, strong, a presence defensively and on the glass, unselfish. They called him Hakeem the Dream for good reason. That dude was a dream to play with and a nightmare for opponents.
Shooting 2.
He's off on the first. Nene, he's checked in for Joe Johnson. good on the second free throw. Well, the NBA has made some adjustments to prevent the hack-a-shack strategy, fouling big men who can't make free throws. It still happens. Clark, is it always going to be a part of the game, do you think?
I think it will be part of the game, and I don't necessarily like it. I would much rather see the rule be changed because I think it just enhances the quality of the product. Some would argue the strategy should be on board for poor free throw shooters. I disagree.
On offense, here are the Rockets. They're on a 9-1 run. And Anderson gets it to go.
And the combination of his quickness and soft touch around the rim really allows him to pull off shots like that. A lot of players don't have the reverse in their arsenal.
Crawford kicks to Wiggins. Jang with the screen for Wiggins. Mba'amute pulls it in.
No other way to put it. Just a rough quarter in terms of scoring. He has not been helping at all.
That one goes in.
And that kind of sums up the defensive effort we've seen here tonight, guys.
Timberwolves shooting a pretty brutal 29% since the break. Towns up top. He's covered by Anderson. Towns kicks to Zhang, and he gets the bucket. Zhang's got 8 points.
Nice pass there. Towns with the intelligence to operate one step ahead of the defense there.
And the shot's good from Nene.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring, and this one couldn't have been any easier.
Yeah, that was actually no defense at all there, Greg. I mean, layups don't come any easier than that. I mean, they're piling it on now. You know, I think he's been a steady, reliable option so far, but it's not enough. They need him to take charge, be more assertive on the offensive end.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
The Timberwolves shooting struggles apparent. 37% from the field. Wiggins passes to Towns. Crawford outside. Beyond the arc. Good, and the assist goes to Towns. And 12 points for Jamal Crawford.
And you can see the play calling this half. Another one from distance.
Well, they're dialed in. Locked and loaded from outside the arc. It's all about the triple so far.
Ball against Jones. Crawford kicks to Wiggins. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good. He's got 12.
Yeah, high percentage look there, Kevin. I mean, Wiggins reads the defense and then basically just takes what he's given there.
And you can see it. They're in a nice rhythm in terms of shooting. It's been that way the entire second half.
And, you know, Greg, it's hard to ask for much more than that because they're getting to their spots and they're knocking down the shots.
Towns the screen. And Wiggins with the basket on the assist by Jones. Jones has got 3 assists tonight.
Hey, it's a simple game. Just take what the defense allows. Wiggins reads it, smooth with the mid-range stroke. Knock it down.
There's 53 seconds left to play here in the third. Crawford outside. He feeds it to Wiggins. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Crawford.
You know, that's not how you distribute the ball. Needs to be more focused when making passes like that.
And the Rockets making a change here. Green's checked in. And for Houston, they're shooting 69%, showing you what a well-oiled offense looks like tonight. And the rejection by Towns.
Great timing on the block there. Towns helps affect winning in a lot of different ways.
They grab their own miss. Anderson with the block. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. .26 seconds left in the third quarter. Crawford's shot is good. Houston in total control. Here is Mba'amute, and the dunk by Mba'amute.
Boy, I love Eric Gordon as a combo guard. He's a multi-talented player who can play either guard position.
Crawford dishes to Zhang. Wiggins from outside, and again, Minnesota with the triple. Here's Gordon. He's got 10. Shot's good from Mba'amute. Mba'amute has got 10 points in the game.
And, you know, these are easy ones. Once you're this close, it's academic.
And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. Rockets on top, running away with it. And we'll get it going after this from the Target Center. Now let's hear what Coach Tom Thibodeau was reviewing with his team in the huddle.
When all we're doing is thinking about our offense. Not playing any defense. Can't win like that.
Tom Thibodeau obviously frustrated, wanting to see more stops on the defensive end.
And no doubt about it, the best teams are those that can kind of hunker down when they need to and force the other side into taking bad shots.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. Taking a look at the Rockets, we've got Mba'amute. Nene is out there with Anderson. And there's Gordon, and it's Green in at the shooting guard position. Georges Hunt's shots no good.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Guys, that's putting it mildly. I mean, they've been absolutely dominant.
Minnesota's gotten off to an 0-for-2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Jones kicks to Brown. Pass to Georges Hunt. Zhang with a screen on Green. Here's Georges Hunt. That shot missing, and it's Houston the other way. It's Anderson with the drive. Missed inside.
Allowing no space for the shooter to get comfortable. Just terrific defense.
Yeah, excellent extension on the block. Superb timing as well to swat that one away.
Now Jones. The pass to Georges Hunt. Zhang a screen. Off the pick. Georges Hunt's shots no good.
You know, the defense did a good job playing through the pick. Outstanding contest on the shot.
And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. P.J. Tucker, he's checked in for the Rockets. Just over a minute and a half played here in the fourth. Jones against Gordon. 14 feet away. Zhang, no luck. The Rockets have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. And Mba'amute can't get it to go.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Textbook defense all around. Nice job at contesting the shot without fouling, and that's how you do it. Well done.
The Timberwolves again can't hit.
Boy, he has been cold for a while now.
Yeah, he has been, and he's got to find his stroke because he's holding back his team as a result of his poor shooting. Boy, he hit his teammate in the perfect spot. Led him easily to the bucket. That's what you call a room service assist.
Georges Hunt kicks to Zhang. And the shot no good, a bit short.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Jones. Taj Gibson's checked in for Zhang. For those just joining us, fourth quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. And the basket is good. Mba'amute has got 4 points in the quarter.
Nicely done. They continue to attack inside, and that's 10 points in a row in the paint.
If you can't stop it, here it comes. I'm right at you.
Dishes to Brown. Shot to stop the drought. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. Johnson, he's checked in for Mba'amute. Minnesota with the ball. They have yet to put up any points here in the fourth. And it's Brown missing. Rockets have gone 4 of 8 in this fourth quarter, shooting an even 50% from the field. They get it again, Tucker. And there's the bucket, staying with it on the offensive glass, getting it done.
And, that's the hustle and nose for the ball that P.J. Tucker possesses. You've got to get a body on him.
Gibson the screen. To the middle. And the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
And you like to see since the half now, he's finally starting to come around.
And we just had one of the closer MVP races in recent memory. Clark, do you define the MVP as a player with the most impressive stats, or the best player on the best team, or somewhere in between?
Kevin, to me, the MVP is an individual award. Clearly, we play a team game in the NBA, and a team's performance is part of that, but it's a small part of it to me. An MVP performance is one that not only has consistent, high-level statistical production, influences winning at a good rate, but also stands out in the magnitude of the moments this player has over the course of the season. Those two things drive the needle for me as an MVP voter if I had such a vote.
And every move he makes looks like the right one at this point.
No doubt about it, Greg. I mean, the game comes so naturally to him, easily. I mean, helping to expand their lead as they try to close this one out, he's doing it.
And there's the call on Nene. That'll be his second foul of the game. Full 24-second shot clock. Tipped away. Gibson the screen. Johnson over to help. Now the feed to Jones. He kicks it to Gibson. Tries yet again, and the layup is good. Gibson's got 5 points now in the quarter.
It's really been a tale of two halves, guys. A slow start, but this quarter, he has really been the man.
You've got to respect, and you can't sleep on the passing ability of Harden. Love how he zips it over to open teammates.
Timberwolves shooting has been wayward so far. Only 37% from the floor. Brown wide open. He fires. With nobody on him, he buries the jumper. Rockets have gotten more than 58% of their attempts to go down for them in the fourth quarter. They're 7 of 12.
Being aware there, excellent recognition, fantastic playmaking leading to the nice shot.
And Tucker kicks to Harden. Basket good. Harden's got 52 points.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Greg, the play in the paint has gone almost entirely all their way.
Here's Gibson. The shot from the low post is good. Gibson's got 13 points here in the second half alone.
And the shooting has really been there for him today, but he may have to take it upon himself to continue to carry this team and try and get out of this hole.
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Rose is checked in. Minnesota shooting in this fourth quarter pretty dire at 27%. Well, the commissioner recently said the NBA will review, Clark, the one-and-done rule for college players. Any idea how that will change, if it will at all?
You know what? I'm not sure, Kevin. Quite honestly, when this rule was instituted about 10 years ago now, 10 or 11 years ago, I thought it would be good. I felt 1 year of college, if a guy was fully invested in that experience, would be better than no years. But I also understand college is not for everybody. And I'm actually of the mindset now that you should be allowed to leave right out of high school if you so choose. But if you do go to college, I would like there be a rule in place that there's a commitment to 2 years. I just think that would benefit all involved, the players, the universities, and I think the NBA would get a more mature and an NBA-ready prospect. That being said, I think we're going to end up, kind of where we are right now. I don't know if anything is going to change in the near future.
And the second free throw, good.
And the versatility Johnson offers, it can't be forgotten. I mean, this is a guy that can play 3 to 4 positions, a lights-out shooter who also has that clutch gene.
Brown the pass to Gibson. From past the arc, and there's Brown. That's good on the assist from Gibson. Brown's got 5 points now this quarter.
And they've got to talk to each other on D there. Miscommunication, and now he's able to make them pay. They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
Pretty clear. It's smash mouth basketball. Pound that thing inside.
Clark, we have seen an influx of players who function as point forwards for their team. How difficult is that to deal with as a defender?
I think it's really hard. I think it just speaks to the versatility of a player. If a guy has forward size but point guard skills, then I think that makes him more valuable to his team and more difficult to defend because he can start offense, not just for himself, but for his team. And that puts your defense in a little bit of a quandary as to how you're going to deal with that kind of versatility in terms of scoring and playmaking.
Johnson gets the bucket.
And he's starting to show that killer instinct this quarter, looking to extend the lead.
Pass to Gibson. Rose against Johnson. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson. Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for Minnesota. And Mbah-a-Moute's checked in for Houston. And Minnesota has possession. Brown outside. His three-pointers off the mark. One thing we've seen from these guys is excellent passing.
No doubt about it. It's fun to watch the way they're operating as a team right now. They are all in sync. Yeah, just a simple one-hand flush.
I think he got a few more inches on his vertical by going with the spike.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what it looked like to me. I mean, he was way up there.
And the dunk by Mbah-a-Moute.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
Brown kicks to Gibson. Gibson setting the pick for Crawford. And Mbah-a-Moute with the steal. And oh, here we go with Green. Nobody back. And Green slams it in,
leaving the rest of the field in the dust.
Well, I think the defense flat out gave up. I mean, didn't even try to get back into the picture on that fast break finish.
Harden against Rose. Out to the right wing. Ball's knocked loose. 5 to shoot. That one's off. Still out of sync. Houston in total control. And here we go. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession.
Yeah, and I think he was surprised to see that pass coming his way and just really reacted too late.
Minnesota shooting a meager 37% for the game. Brown kicks to Gibson. Ball's knocked loose. Here's Nene, and Nene slams it in.
Boy, good job firing the pass inside there. I mean, all his teammate had to do was catch and finish.
Rose against Harden. Rose gets the bucket.
And as long as he retains that great explosion in his legs, Derrick Rose will be a factor around the rim.
Count it, good.
And he can take over in a nanosecond. I mean, once he catches fire, it's difficult to squelch it.
Crawford against Green. And now here's Johnson, the fast break chance. And they pick up 2. Johnson's got 30.
And it's about the tempo, guys. It favors them, and just look at that score.
And, Greg, you know, they're really controlling the pace and game right now, rushing, pushing the break and leaving the defense in its wake.
Tyus Jones, he's checked in for Derrick Rose. And a switch here also for Houston. Chris Paul's checked in for James Harden. Crawford kicks to Brown. Here's Aldridge. And the rebound goes to the Rockets.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Exactly. Can't play it any better than that, Greg.
And for the Timberwolves, their shooting has been dreadful lately, around 28% here in the fourth. There's Crawford with the three. Mba'amute pulls it in. Mba'amute has got his 5th rebound in this one. The three from Johnson. Good on the triple. Johnson's got 33 points. Johnson's gone 50% from the arc, 1 of 2. Johnson over to help. They set the screen. Johnson against Brown. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for Houston.
Their superior ball handling won it for them.
And fewer turnovers equals greater scoring opportunities. Any coach will tell you that. If you take care of the ball every possession, and this is a perfect example of what happens when you do.
And the wins continue to come in fairly easy for these guys in what's been a very strong year, to say the least. Tonight will push them up to 56 wins.
And they cap off the season series with one more win. It's been nothing but W's, 4 straight.
Greg, we don't see conference opponents get swept very often, but this has been total domination.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for James Harden.
You know what stood out to me, Kevin, was his confidence. I mean, he was taking a lot of good shots and knocking them all down.
Brown outside, and it's Nene with the rebound. This has been a one-sided affair.
Yeah, they've done a nice job of extending their lead and maintaining that intensity level.
It's good.
Yeah, with this lead, that's probably going to do it. Fans heading for the exits.
And, Greg, you know how hard it is to win on the road, but they seem to have this one firmly in control and have been very impressive today.
Now a timeout called by Houston. They're up. There's 31 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What's your take, guys?
And, guys, just avoid the unnecessary fouls here. That's about the only thing that can get them in trouble at this point.
One thing that Tom Thibodeau can be dependent on as a coach is giving his star players a lot of minutes. In fact, in Chicago, Clarkson criticized him for doing that. Others praised him for it. But the fact of the matter is, if you're a team leader, he expects you to be on the floor a lot and produce a lot.
Yeah, and, you know, that's part of the job. Hey, when you get right down to it, if you're one of the best players, you've got to show up and do your job all the time. And you look at players who've played under Thibodeau. I mean, he's had the league leader in average minutes 3 times in his career as a coach. Said himself that he expects his guys to get used to what star players do, which includes a lot of minutes.
And now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, James Harden.
Yeah, and his performance has been a jaw-dropper. It must have been feeling great coming into the building tonight, because once he hit the court, it was all working for him. He was in a zone.
He silenced this crowd with an unreal display. His ability to drown out the noise and the hostility of an opposing crowd is pretty special. Here's George's Hunt. Outside, Jones. Another miss by Minnesota. And they can just let the clock run out here.
Cannot argue with the W.
And it's in there.
And leaving nothing to chance here on this game-clinching run.
Exactly. Cold-blooded. Separation solidified. Great effort.
Brown kicks to Zhang. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. It's on Mba'amute.
Strong move in the painted area. I mean, Zhang draws a lot more fouls when being aggressive.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That free throw, no good.
And I'll tell you what, guys, Jang keeps himself in peak physical condition. Low body fat percentage, and I think that's a byproduct of spending time at Louisville. Fanatic for that kind of stuff.
Good on the second free throw. 7 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Nene. Good, and it's Johnson with the assist that time.
And guys, this is the blueprint for winning on the road. How about the level of focus on each and every possession?
Yeah, it's actually palpable, isn't it, Greg? I mean, you can feel it. Every single one of these guys locked in, playing for each other. And that's why they're up.
So we see Houston taking the W here. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks very much with Chris Paul. Chris, a very convincing win, and that doesn't happen often in this league. So what do you take from this?
You know, one thing that our coaching staff keeps stressing to us every night is that it's about us. You know, so regardless of score, we got to continue to try to get better because we impose our will on the defensive end. The sky's the limit.
Well, the focus was there tonight, Chris. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for being with us. We'll see you later.